Hey guys, welcome to the basement. We're going to be covering over the basement today. I am Justin, and we're going to be talking about creating a basement for the extension of your home rather than storage. If you're somebody who has just a lot of storage, or you got an unfinished basement, and when you go downstairs, you're seeing, some workout equipment, a bed, so when you have people coming over and or you have like sometimes there's just random stuff down there. Like at my house, we are overcoming this issue as we speak. So let's get started. And if you got any questions, of course, write us, or if you're watching the recording as well, feel free to write us with questions or insert some pictures of your basement, and we're gonna try to answer some of your questions live as we keep going. But once again, my name is Justin. I am with XtraMile Construction, and this is possibly going to be the best meeting you've ever had of your life. And I can see some faces there. We got Louie and Jason, some of our team members, and then also Ariella. So, all right, let's move. All right, so here we go. One more time, the basement, the extension of your home beyond storage, right? How do we churn a basement if it has windows? Sometimes basements are underground, sometimes they have walkouts. And how are we creating maximizing the space and also at the same time making it so that you can put things in storage and other stuff like that? So, really quick, my name is Justin. My wife and I run XtraMile Construction. My dad is the owner here, and then also we have a project manager, Will. And my dad started XtraMile back in 2016. It was almost a rebirth of a business that we had during pre 2008. He had a business for 25 years in Big Lake. That was a remodeling and new home build. And my project manager as well. Will is a super unique and special individual that we get to have on our team that helps create the beautiful visions that my wife and myself, mainly my wife, have. And a little bit about us, right, is my wife is from Guatemala, and then I and her met when we are like 13 at a church. I think we remember high-fiving each other, and then we re-met at my sister's wedding. And I asked her to dance, and I think I don't remember. Did you reject me at first? I think you rejected.
No, I said yes. I was just really nervous. I was like a homeschooled kid.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, she was super shy and tried to get her to dance, and then so thankfully she did dance with me, and we just started talking a little bit after that, and then about a year later, we started dating, and then got engaged about a year later after that. So we've been married for 11, coming up on 11 years, and we've been running this business together from I've been doing it for 6 years, and she has been doing it for about 4, 5. I mean, even with me at the beginning, but so I took over from my dad, and then we just kind of started recreating, rebuilding just our own style and things like that, which you're going to see in some of the photos. All right, so next we have really quick, really important is that we have this really cool thing that we're building on our website. So if there's any workshop, for example, if there's a kitchen, if you're looking at home additions and stuff like that, you're able to come to our website here, and you can come here to more and workshop and videos, and then you'll be able to see some of the videos that we're doing here on our that we're doing like almost every week. We're doing different workshops just to really connect and not to really start breaking down some of these unknowns before you even meet with someone, or you're already having these thoughts and opinions about what is possible for your space. And we also have our YouTube channel. So some of our stuff is on YouTube. So we have like just parts and things like that for the addition side. We have who do you hire first, a designer or a general contractor, some of those casual questions, and obviously social media and things like that. I lost my spot. Okay. So once again, that's where that is. And then of course, coming up really quick, we have another one coming up on August 20th, which I believe we're going to be covering an aspect of the kitchen. and it's gonna be really cool. So if you are welcome, you're more than welcome to come with us, and even bring some questions and stuff beforehand so that we can cover it during this. All right, let's go a little deeper. So, what's the one dream space you've always wanted in your home but never had the room for, right? So, a lot of times, if you're in a build that's past 2001, they typically, if it's a split level, they try to fit an office somewhere. And then eventually, as your family grows and things like that, that office becomes sometimes a storage room, or like the kitchen, right, becomes an extension of the kids' like hangout area. And then you have toys in one spot, you have a kitchen, living room together. And I think it's really important, this is one of the ways, the best ways to, without doing an addition or something like that, to really maximize the space for your home. So the basement, right, can be transformed into anything you really want it to be. And we're going to show some examples of that. And so as I'm going through this, right, if you have, just start thinking about your home, not the basement itself, but the upstairs, when you walk into the house, what are you seeing? When you go into the kitchen, what are you seeing with the living room and dining room? And is it something that some of those you need more space up there, but you have an office, or you have a you just have like the overflow of a living room or kids area that's entering into that, and you just want a dedicated space that's for the kids. So really quick, right? Rethinking the basement space. One is we're looking at the potential. We're looking at, is there going to be lighting? Is it going to be a space for, it's an extension of, like, for example, the bottom left here, this photo, this person needed an extension of their, just to hang out where their kids are, right? They're always upstairs. They have a lake in the backyard. And so they wanted something that when they have people coming in and out, they can come in, get their drinks, get their refreshments, and go right out. And one of the things that what she needed was just a dedicated area that she was cleaning versus her whole house when people are coming over. Other part is the uses, right? A lot of times we're creating entertainment spaces, a bedroom, home offices is really big right now with that, and then as well gyms. We see almost every basement we do, they always ask for some type of gym space or office gym, like kind of connected. And the one thing that we really want to focus on is the lifestyle, right? Enhancing the connection, enhancing, like when you have kids coming over, you have Christmas, you have the kids hanging out downstairs and they're doing their thing, and then the adults are hanging upstairs and they're doing their thing. Therefore, like the toys and then the noise and all that stuff. There's just a solid separation, but yet together, right? Of like family time's up here, and let's do the hangout downstairs. And so if there's any chaos that happens, it's only in one level of the house versus all the levels of the house, right? All right. So when we're looking at the basement, the first and foremost is looking at the initial design. So in a new build, right? A lot of times this was a plan that was taken from new build, and then I adjusted it to make it work for them. So a couple things to think about when we're at these going through this is, when you're coming down the stairs, what do you want to see? Is there an option that when you come downstairs that you can make it feel not like a basement? And that was our goal for this project. It was like, when you come downstairs, we want it to be airy, open, and we want to be able to see where everyone's at all, at all times. So we didn't create a bedroom down here. They had an extra bedroom. But one thing that you'll notice too is that the bathroom, we actually switched where the bathroom layout was from back here in the laundry room to um just just adjacent to it, right? Just a little bit further. That way, when you're coming downstairs, you don't have to go into the, like, almost like the weird, it's like the furnace room and bathroom. Instead, we were able just to go straight and have a usability for the bathroom. And one thing that we did when we did this is that we were able to get a linen cabinet and also a large vanity. If we were to stick with the original homeowner's plan, we would have only been able to do a 42-inch cabinet with no storage space. And and then as well, one of the things that helps with this is, like, when if you're thinking about the different flooring and stuff like that, it just there's a lot more options you can do when it's all connected to the space with colors and stuff like that. All right, and then another thing was bringing the kitchenette down here. The original kitchenette that they had was on this living room wall. There was a pipe here that they wanted to do, and so we were trying to figure out how could this area over here become the living room and this become the kitchenette bar area. And it was really every time we laid it out, it kept impeding and it kept creating this awkward space that was joining together with the living room. And so it became like there wasn't a separation. It was really congested. When you'd walk down, there was going to be cabinetry. So you just, I mean, it still would look really pretty, but it just didn't have what the homeowner needed. All right. So not this one has windows, it's a walkout, right? Let's talk about a non-window walkout area. Um, so this one here, this is an outgrower. They have no windows except for one bedroom. And when we were looking at their space, a lot of what they really wanted is like they wanted it to be a really cool family hangout area. So like when they have their cousins over and things like that, that they had something that was they were just proud to hang out, and then the space for the kids' toys and everything was dedicated. And so that was one of the best things that we were able to incorporate. And this project also has a dry bar, which I will possibly will show later in the same area. But the cabinets with the TV was a really big point that we were able to help them with. And we had to reframe some walls and structure in order to make that happen. So, and of course we have the plant basement. These guys love plants, they love green, they love color. Great people to work with. And so we were able to do a kitchenette. We did a really large cabinet here, and I mean a large countertop so that he could put all of his plants on there. And then as well, their kids, they have two kids, so that when they were done going from outside, they would have a place to wash and to prepare food and things like that. So that's really the benefits of looking at a space as a whole, not just like a dedicated, all right, I got this here, got this here, and let's go a little deeper into some of these options. All right. So what are we really making sure we're doing? One is selected materials, yes, and the craftsmanship is super important with the basement. One of the questions I get a lot is, does my basement have to match upstairs? And everyone has a different view on it, but for us, it really each like this house here has a golden oak upstairs. Um, this one has a white. This one upstairs, you see they did black trim and stuff. Their upstairs is actually golden oak as well, and it was built in like the 98-ish era. So we were able to take an opinion of the upstairs and create a whole new look and feel for the basement. And not, I think people get really caught up, things have to tie together, and the reality is it doesn't have to. The basement's a totally free game, right? It's like when you walk down there, right, it's really what you want it to be. So I would encourage you not to get hung up on those little, they're not little, but those options like that. And so like I said, this one in Ham Lake, what we were able to do is maximizing the functionality of it. We kept the storage room fairly large, and we talked to them. We're like, hey, what things are you keeping? What things are what things are staying? And this is a great time to purge a lot of those unnecessary things. And a lot of times, what we found is that after 2, 3 years, a lot of these homeowners, they've actually keep minimalizing what they have because they realize they found storage for it. Um, and the layout of these basements are so important to know. So, like, choose a theme that can align with the rest of the home, but it's not necessary. But it like these guys, we made it look exactly like it was upstairs. Higher quality materials. A lot of times, people choose materials like MDF, which is like cardboard, like trim. There, if it's a moist area, which lots of basements are, the situations are a lot of times those things just don't last that long, and depending on the ages of the kids and stuff, they're hitting it with stuff, and so it's really important to use a real wood product. That's what we always try to make sure that we're implementing. And even with like our doors and stuff like that, we always try to have some type of high quality wood so that later on, as it's getting used, that you don't have to um, have an issue with it. The other one is the lighting is really important. I think that's one that gets overlooked a lot of times, especially if you don't have a lot of natural light in your basement. And then making sure that it's adaptable to the future, right? So if your family's growing and things are changing, that you're able to continually incorporate, or if you don't have you're not sure what type of built-ins you want and you're looking for more options, you can always add those things later, right? And making sure that that those things that you want to add later already have some type of um just you're already ready for those things before you have to move anything again and whatnot. So always have the end in mind. So once again, this basement didn't have, this is the one with the cabinets on the wall with the like white cabinets with the wood countertop. So from the photos, before, the customer's like, oh, we're not gonna have enough space. This looks, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this. But the basement finish, how it ended up being, utilizing, clearing out a lot of their stuff and finding storage. So we created a large closet in their primary bedroom down in the basement. Like it's a large bedroom. And then we were able to make a large closet by taking a little bit of space in the living room, which was totally okay because we were able to put cabinets and stuff like that to use more of that space. And the, like I said, cabinetry is sometimes one of the best ways that you can really reutilize a lot of the space without having that stuff stand out versus a typical closet or something like that. All right, everyone doing good? Everyone following me here? Excellent. I see some head nods. All right, some thumbs ups. Appreciate that. Uh, making sure that, like I said, at any point you have a question or whatnot, just let me know. So one of the other things, right, that happens in the basement finish that I've seen is the flexibility of when you're laying out walls. A lot of times, some of us, like especially me, I'll get an idea and I am stuck there. This basement here, for example, this wall in the corner, this little corner wall, was a change order that we did because this used to have a flat wall, and then as soon as you walked in order to walk over and through to the room, it just like if you're carrying something, you'd hit that wall. Or if you have furniture, you're hitting that wall to move the furniture around. So that was one thing that we were able to do is just look at it from a little bit further, long-term perspective, not just, quick fix. And utilizing stud cavities like in here, I don't know if you can see that there's like this, we utilize the space within the studs to create a spot for her to put her weights and towels and stuff like that. So one of my favorite basements is this one, right? I love the colors. I love like when Jenna starts choosing colors and stuff like that. One of the cool things is like a lot of times people like we're like, especially when we were doing this, it was like gray and white trim, gray floors, gray walls. And we're starting to move away from that. We're incorporating color, we're incorporating different ideas and feels, and you don't have to be pigeonholed into one spot. So Ham Lake basement, right? We have a office, bedroom, open office, and then we have a storage room that we create on the right side in this top right photo. And then getting shelving, right? Getting wood shelves, any type of shelving is such a good thing to do in a storage room. And it's inexpensive and it's easy to do. So if you're working with someone, make sure you ask about that. And like I said, fixtures, there's black fixtures here. Just you're adding so much depth and richness to the basement and creating it into a home. Of course, they didn't add like their entertainment furniture and all this stuff yet when we took these photos, but it's important to remember the creative liberties that you do have, that it doesn't just have to be quick, easy fix and you just put drywall up and you don't have any lights in there. All right, let's continue on. All right, so let's see. I kind of feel like I want to cover a couple things more. So let's give me a second, and we're gonna go a little freestyle here. So one of the things that we also see with the basement finishes is soffits. That's one of a lot of times our customers will have some type of hang up when they're doing a basement finish because they don't want to have soffits. So soffits are to go around ductwork, framing, load bearing, and stuff like that. So one of the things that we do when we have that is one, you can lower the whole basement as as it sits, right? Straight across. Or the other thing is like do some walkthroughs beforehand and get the HVAC and ductwork up in the ceiling. So I'm gonna pull up this photos quick. So this is one that we did in, I believe this was Maple Grove, around Maple Grove. Sorry, 1 second. It's loading. Let's try this one. It's not loading. If it's not going to load, we're going to continue on. All right, it's not loading. I need it. All right, it's all right. So a couple things when we're looking at the basement, right, is where's the ductwork? Where's everything going? How are we going to keep that up in the ceiling? And I think I actually have this project here before, if you can see it. I know it's going to be a little small, but this project here actually had soffits over by the stairwell here. So before this area here, we got their HVAC up into the ceiling. We were able to maneuver it because otherwise what they would have had is they would have had a soffit hanging down in between where the store is underneath the stairs to over here. And so that's one thing to really look at is is it feasible to put things up in the ceiling? And if so, is it the approximate cost worth it? And in my opinion, I think it depends on the layout and the flow that you're looking for. Some people, they don't mind soffits because it's just a part of life. But one thing is if we can minimize it though, to keep it open, airy, right? These are 8-foot ceilings. A lot of houses have 9-foot ceilings or so, depending on the age of the house. And so keeping that nice and open is really important. The other thing is, how do you make a basement not feel like a basement in the sense of like the air quality? A lot of times here in Minnesota, the basements are always a lot of times freezing. And a couple things that we do in our basements to make it a little bit more make it more feasible to not have it so cold is we will do a couple things. One is if we're doing luxury vinyl, we find some type of luxury vinyl that has an insulating value to it underneath the floor, and especially with the sound too. We try to find stuff that's sound dampening and then also has a quality of the air that, for example, a little bit thicker luxury vinyl floor, or putting a mat underneath the luxury vinyl floor, depending on the person, like what kind of flooring it is. The other one obviously is carpet, will help it keep warmer. Not everyone loves carpet. And it depends on the dogs and stuff like that. So that's one thing to think about is the flooring. And if you're concerned about, keeping it warm down there, because I grew up in a really cold basement. So another thing is just the adequate air returns, not just supplies. A lot of times, so a little bit of an issue that we have in every house that we do is, so the supplies are typically there's only like one per room, which is fine. But if it's supplying the room but doesn't have a cold air return to the furnace, that air is not circulating. So that's one of the bigger things I see when is getting that right circulation in the basements that keeps it nice and warm, is that you have adequate cold air return space. And that's something that you want to do when you're doing a walkthrough. So if that's a concern, write that down. Doing the walkthrough, talk about that with the people so that at the end of it, you're not wishing you had any adjustments. And lastly, one of the things that we really try to keep in mind is starting with the end in mind, starting with the colors in mind. Selecting everything before you're getting to the point that you need to install it is really key. And sometimes it can really prevent issues or just different situations, but also it helps just keep the flow of what's going on. So uh any questions on that? Everyone feeling pretty good? I know I went through that pretty quick. And so of course, right, what we do is that we're creating houses into homes. So at the end of the day, it's your house. And like you can get so many opinions. You can have an opinion about this, that, and then you get just so much information. And if you've gone to some of our kitchen stuff, you'll see that's one of the things is lowering the anxiety of the project is starting off with the conversations of the pros and cons. What are necessary? How much space is necessary? What can we get rid of? And starting with that up front. And the next part of it is, getting the professionals, a designer like Melissa Matthews or somebody like that, or Jenna, or someone on our team, of course, but it's getting those different opinions that can really slow down the process a little bit and really get to the things that are necessary up front, especially if we've done you've the person that you're working with's done so many. And one more time, um, we have our workshop on August 20th coming up. It's going to be aspects of the kitchen. Make sure that you follow along and learn as we're learning. And of course, you got questions and pictures and stuff like that. We want to make sure that we're constantly growing with you and learning with you. And we're, to be honest, the goal of what we have is to help, just if we can help that take down that anxiety level or give you one design feature that will be really cool for the space. Um, and each one of these projects, right, they did not come, it wasn't a start of, the wet bar wasn't the first idea. This was something that while we're going through the design process, we're like, let's add that. The cabinetry for this project wasn't like how it's laid out, wasn't the first idea. So it's like figure out the overall things that cannot change and the non-negotiables, and then incorporate those things little by little versus I think a lot of times we spend so much major time on small decisions that are like, what's the paint color? Well, what type of flooring? Those things are important, but we want to start with the framing and the overall electrical scope of work and the HVAC scope of work first. And then from there, you can see really what's possible, and that can also help the overall like budget of the project and keep it nice and smooth to the very end. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Pull this up. So once again, guys, so appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. And if you're on the recording, if you got questions about any of this, feel free to email us or write our team. You can go on our website and fill out a little form there. And if you just got questions, you can also text our XtraMile phone, which is the main phone number that you see on our website. And also you see on our on like the Google page. So let me just share that quick. So the phone number is right here on our website, very bottom left. And we have learned and grown so much, and we're so thankful for another day to be able to help and serve. And my wife and I, we partnered together on a lot of these designs with our team, and it's always a privilege to see it come to life in the way that we're maximizing that space, getting the storage space, keep it in the storage and not letting it overflow into the living and kitchen, like the living area or bedrooms, and making sure those dedicated things that are needed for every homeowner is it's there. It's not just an idea. It's something that's working for them right away once when they move into that new space in the basement. So appreciate it. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you soon.